humans, welcome to Writing Challenge Day 7. Today I want to talk about a topic called Thematic Interconnectedness. Now, I first learned about this at a podcast interview done by Tim Ferriss. It's the only podcast I listen to, so if I reference a podcast, it's likely the Tim Ferriss Show. And he interviewed Josh Waitzkin, and Josh Waitzkin introduced me to this term, thematic interconnectedness. And the way that he explained it was essentially that when you have different areas of your life or people who are different experts at different things and they come together and they're able to solve unique problems because of their different perspectives, then you're drawing the lines across different themes and connecting uniquely in a way that you wouldn't have connected otherwise. And so to give examples, thematic interconnectedness for me looks like watching movies in a way that will inform my book writing process, reading books of different genres than the one that I'm writing. I'm writing memoir. I mentioned yesterday that I'm currently reading a lot of young adult fiction. It's been really interesting to me. Seeing musicals, going to see art, walking around down by the river. These are different experiences that I will indulge throughout my day, and they will help link back to my book writing process and provide information and insight into my book that I wouldn't have necessarily thought to seek out in those areas, because usually when you're writing a book, you think looking up how to write a book, how to write a memoir, and there are phenomenal books out there about how to write a great book, also write a great memoir, but I find that indulging in thematic interconnectedness purposefully throughout my day also informs my book writing process. And this is something that I think we as creatives often don't allow ourselves, because we think that it's just distraction, or that we are pulling away from our own creative process, either that will be influenced by somebody else, or why would I go walk around an art museum when I'm writing a book about dogs? I'm not writing a book about dogs, but if that were the case. And I have learned that it actually helps sometimes to start my day with a little exposure to a different type of theme than about what I'm writing. And this looks like reading some of my book before I start writing my day, or having little breaks throughout my day where I will read. And sometimes it's taking a walk outside, often having conversations with different people who are interested in different things. I'll find that there's something that relates back to my book, and like, oh, maybe that's the perspective that this character came from because they had a similar background. Or, oh, that's such a unique way to word that concept. That's really introduced a lot of different syntax into my vocabulary, my understanding of certain situation. And you've probably had experiences like this too, right? Where you're chatting with someone who's an engineer and you're an artist, and somehow you come together in this unique way talking about one particular topic, and you've solved another way to collect garbage or to recycle and create products because you had unique perspectives. That is thematic interconnectedness, and I would encourage you to not only explore it, but also purposefully indulge it. One of my friends once said that she tried to reorient her day around, instead of doing what she felt like she was supposed to do right away, get these things done before 10 a.m., do the hardest things first, she would do the most enjoyable thing first. So she would go on a bike ride before she would start her work day, and then she would have a long breakfast, and then she would get into work. And I think both ways of approaching your day has its merits, and it's worth playing around with both of them. But see how you can incorporate thematic interconnectedness into your life in a way that might inform your art. And it's a little challenging to talk around, because there are a variety of ways in which it will, probably infinite number of ways in which it will arise in your life and inform you and your story. But that's something that I purposely try to include in my day. I try to not feel guilty about it, knowing that reading this book is actually priming me in a way that I wouldn't have been primed if I just went straight into writing with my own thoughts. Let me have somebody else's thoughts on a story, on a character for a moment before I get into my own. Taking breaks to watch videos. Sometimes they are distracting. Yes, YouTube videos, Facebook videos. But if you're watching a movie in the evening, try to engage your brain and see if some of these synapses in your brain can start connecting in unique, spark-inducing ways of, oh, that's such a good idea for this kind of story. Anyway, That's a little tip for you today, something that I like to incorporate in my day and my creativity. Let me know how thematic interconnectedness, it's so hard to say. It's even harder to remember. I often forget this term, but I know the sentiment. Let me know how it plays out in your life, if you've had some really unique aha moments, if you've had some of those conversations with people where you feel like you're pulling from memories that you don't even think about, and education that you've had that you've completely forgotten, and how it informs your creativity in a whole new way. So if you feel stuck, also go outside the box, go to sources of information, inspiration, creativity that you wouldn't normally seek out, and just see what happens. I think you might be surprised. All right, friends, I hope we're having a sunny day, and I'll chat with you tomorrow.